Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. We've seen some cool-off in the global markets in the past two trading sessions. US markets were down about 0.6 to about 0.78%. Also the data points that came in from US yesterday were also not too encouraging. The May retail sales was up only about 0.3% and it was below estimates. Also the jobless claim data that came out where it came in at about 3,17,000 and in fact the jobless claims went up by about 4,000 which also did not go down too well with the US markets. Even the European markets were marginally weak. Both DAX and CAC were down. So there's a bit of sluggishness that has crept in the global markets. Also the fact that there are increased tensions in Iraq and that has led to some kind of a spike up in the global crude oil price. Brent crude hovering around $113, $114 a barrel, which is at about 7 to 8 months highest level, is also playing in the minds of the traders. So there is a bit of a nervousness in the global markets at this point of time. And today morning when we look at the Asian markets, the Nikkei is down about 0.75%, though the Chinese markets are showing some kind of an uptick. SGX Nifty is suggesting that we are going to open down about 10 odd points. In terms of flows, friends, FIs were net bias in the cash market to the tune of about 652 crore. The domestic institutional sellers in the cash market to the tune of 742 crore. And in the index futures, we have seen the FIs buying to the tune of 151 odd crore. Overall, the index continues to remain pretty stable, though we are seeing certain pockets where there is a profit booking, like PSU companies like GAIL, Coal India, some of the oil marketing companies, ONGC. These are the pockets where we've seen some kind of a profit booking, but overall IT as a pack has kind of remained pretty strong. So companies like Infosys, with the appointment of the new proposed CEO, Mr. Sikka, who is likely to take over from August. So there was a bit of uptick in the Infosys and most of the IT names, and of course certain mid-cap pockets where Edelweiss, where Rakesh Jhunjhunwala bought almost about 1 crore shares. So there was that 10% kind of an uptick, but overall I think the sentiment has remained a bit subdued. On that note, let me invite Sadhana to take us through important F&O cues and ideas that we can have from the F&O side.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. Yesterday market started the session on flattish to negative note, but soon it recovered from the day's low. As we have seen, gains were seen in many of the blue chip counters across with sectoral indices such as banking, auto, pharma, FMCG and information technology stocks. And Nifty finally snapped its session with a marginal gain of 0.36%. In this period, we have seen that formation of long positions were taken by market players, as around 6.57 lakh shares were added in open interest, and Nifty futures price also increased by approximately 0.36%. On the other hand, cost of carry increased by approximately 53% from 3.29 to 5.03%, and Nifty futures premium decreased from 15 points to 10 odd levels. On the options front, PCR is increased by approximately by 2% from 86 to 0.88. It is clearly indicating that we have seen put option has added more number of shares than call option. In yesterday's trade, put option has added around 8 lakh shares in open interest, whereas call option has added around marginally 50,000 shares in open interest. And volatility also was observed in afternoon trade, due to which markets were trading in negative territory. And IVs decreased marginally by approximately 100 basis points from 17.06 to 16.90 odd levels. On the options front, as of now 8,000 stands with highest number of shares in open interest. 58 lakhs contracts are available in 8,000 strike price, and we have seen that unwinding activity taken place in 7,700 call option, now which is shifting to 7,800 and 8,000 call option. On the put option, we have seen that in the money put options are getting active. 7,700 is getting active. We have seen 12% rise in open interest, and 7,500 as of now stands with highest number of shares in open interest, followed by 7,600. There are 4 securities in ban period today. That means no one can take fresh position. One is Dish TV, second is India Real Estate, third is HDR, and last is L&T Finance Holding. Yesterday, FIs were net sellers of approximately 100 odd crores in future and option segment, but they were net buyers of 152 odd crores in index futures. Our 5-day VWAP stands at 7666. Lower range for the market would be 7500 and higher range would be 7700. This might act as a strict resistance going forward. As Singapore Nifty is -1 at 7666, so we may see marginal flattish to negative start in Nifty futures today. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Friends, let me take you through Sharekhan pre-market action, starting with actionable ideas. One can short HPCL as we have seen some increasing tension in Iraq, and that has actually spiked up the world crude prices. So as long as this uncertainty prevails, there could be a bit of a negative reaction for some of the oil marketing companies. So one can actually short HPCL with a stop loss of 438 and a target of about 418 to about 410. Sales are negative news as the steel minister has approved about 70% hike in the basic and DA's salaries across the employees. That could actually increase the salary burden by about 1,000 crore for sale. Also, there was some kind of blast at one of the furnace plants of sale, so one can short with a stop loss of 106 and a target of about 101 to about 98. Here is the watch list for the day traders. Stocks with positive bias are M&M, Phoenix Mills, Exide, HDFC and Titan. And stocks with negative bias are ONGC, JP Associates, LIC Housing, ICICI Bank and IDFC. In other important news and developments, the April 2014 IIP data came in at the 13-month highest level of about 3.4%. A large part of this growth was driven by the manufacturing sector and in particular capital goods. And CPI data also came in as a positive surprise, and it was at about 8.28. So one can expect some more moderation going forward. So this again is a big positive for the banking sector in particular. Also today there is going to be a block deal wherein the Bain Capital is looking at selling a part of its stake in the auto major Hero MotoCorp. This deal could happen at a discount to the current market price of up to about 5%. And in other important news, the Fertilizer Minister has said that there is no proposal to increase the urea prices. So that again is not a great news for the fertilizer stocks. We've seen some kind of a run up there. And Tata Motors reported about 5.14% decline in the global sales of Jaguar and Land Rover to about 77,575 units in May. So bit of a negative reaction is possible in Tata Motors stock in today's market. And Ashok Leyland is looking at doing a QIP of about 1500 crore in the next about 10 days time. J&K Bank has approved the subdivision of the shares in the ratio of 1:10, so there's going to be a split in the stock. And in case of Cipla, finally they have actually entered into some kind of a mutually acceptable agreement over one of the cancer drugs, Tarceva. So a bit of relief for Cipla. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great weekend and a great trading session, and see you on Monday morning.